Recently on the channel, I posted a YouTube short in reaction to a post by Overtime Manga. Naruto with every dojutsu, Luffy with every devil fruit, and Ichigo with every bankai. Let's take a look at what I said. We have another big three anime free-for-all. We have Naruto with every dojutsu, Luffy with every devil fruit, and Ichigo with every bankai. Who's the first one out? I'm gonna be honest here. I think it's Naruto Uzumaki. This is not an attack on the dojutsu in Naruto, but it does point out the lack of versatility in comparison to a Luffy and Ichigo under these conditions. The Byakugan would not be useful in this type of situation because Naruto would have to get into close range, and in a free-for-all with these type of conditions, it's gonna be tough. Now, as for the Sharingan and Rinnegan, you give Naruto a decent Susanoo, and now he's looking like a hybrid Itachi and Nagato in his base form. And worst case scenario, you know an Izanami or an Izanagi is gonna be coming out. But we've seen Kurama Chakra mode being used in conjunction with Sasuke's Susanoo already, and I don't think it's something that's unstoppable. With Naruto out first, this leaves Luffy and Ichigo. Luffy with every devil fruit is easily the most versatile player here. Think about all the Logia devil fruit abilities he'll have access to, which would make him impervious to physical attacks. Luffy would be a master of all elements with maxed out speed and defenses, plus he'll have ultra recovery with the zone abilities. He could essentially absorb an attack with a Yami no Mi, then teleport around with Law's Devil Fruit technique, and then he could tap into his Gear 5 Sun God Nika form. And don't even get me started on the possibility that these Devil Fruits will be awakened, plus he has Haki on the side. But his base strength pales in comparison to an Ichigo. Ichigo's spiritual pressure is among the highest in Bleach, and now you're talking about adding Yamamoto's Bankai to that? Even the Stern Ritters had to steal Bankai abilities because they wouldn't be able to contend without doing that first. The funny thing is, I believe Naruto would have the best counters to fight against the Bankai. I still believe Luffy may take the win just based on how versatile he is. He wouldn't necessarily be stronger than Ichigo, but he would have an answer for every Bankai. However, the big what if is Aizen's Bankai. Full control over your 5 senses, and that's just his Shikai release. Hey, maybe Ichigo wins if he taps into that first. Well, of course, this sparked a lot of controversy. For my Bleach fans that already knew that I haven't tapped into the manga, they were cool. Other fans were going crazy. Obviously, everybody had a lot to say, so let's take a look. Ichigo has Yamamoto's Bankai, which I don't think any of them could take. Yamamoto has one of the most powerful Bankai in the series that I've seen thus far. But if we're adding Yamamoto's Bankai to Ichigo, not only will the heat of his Zanpakuto be raised to a heat similar to that of the sun, but he will also have surrounding flames around him, and he would be able to damage the soul and spirit of a Luffy or Naruto, if and only if he lands those attacks. And that's where I'm headed. I'm in complete agreement when we're talking about the offensive threat of Yamamoto's Bankai, but I'm also going to be looking at Luffy's evasive techniques and also Naruto's evasive techniques. I believe the speed and agility that Luffy will have access to with every devil fruit power would be insane. And Naruto with every dojutsu, he would be able to shift dimensions as well as go into the Kamui dimension. They don't want to take a direct attack from Ichigo, but they can definitely evade it. Yamamoto and Aizen's Bankais alone are a problem. I dare say Ichigo gets this dub fairly easily. Give Naruto all ninjutsu instead of dojutsu, and all of a sudden we have a true contender here. This is exactly what I'm talking about. As I broke down in the YouTube short, I was talking about having Yamamoto's Bankai in conjunction to Aizen's theorized Bankai abilities. He would be insane. He would be very, very tough to stop. I believe an Ichigo like that would be able to take down Luffy and Naruto in this scenario. Because again, we are speculating on Aizen's Bankai, but if it's anything close to Aizen's Shikai release abilities, it would be tough to stop. Ichigo would literally be able to manipulate Luffy and Naruto at will. And I know we can talk about Naruto having access to the Koto Matsukami. Luffy will also have some access to some tricky devil fruits as well. But again, we are talking about Aizen's Shikai release. We didn't talk about his Bankai yet. If you throw that in there, it would be an even more powerful version that Ichigo would have access to. But the main point here that the Naruto fans have been missing for the most part is that this prompt said dojutsu. If you're giving Naruto access to all ninjutsu or all jutsus in general, this is a completely different conversation. But with limiting Naruto to strictly dojutsu, which is what I'm seeing here right now, I'm still blown away at how many people think that Naruto still slams. One thing about Naruto which makes him absolutely busted with this prompt, Madara showed us that clones can use Sharingan abilities. He could make thousands of clones and have them spam Izanagi and Izanami. Granted, Izanami wouldn't help much against the other two, but being able to disrupt them for any amount of time at no real cost is a big advantage. I actually agree with this take in respect to Naruto's abilities, but we're talking about Luffy with every devil fruit and Ichigo with every Bankai. We cannot forget the power boost of the other two. Luffy will be able to counter clones. As we've seen, he would have access to Raizo's Maki Maki no Mi, and we've literally seen Raizo clone himself on multiple occasions throughout the One Piece story, so giving Luffy access to that would be a problem. Now, of course, Naruto can make way more shadow clones than that of a Luffy, but we're also going to be talking about Luffy's ability with Brook's devil fruit. Brook, as we've seen on multiple occasions, has the ability to manipulate souls. He was able to literally remove the souls from Big Mom's homies. Now we're talking about Luffy having access to that ability as well. The massive amount of shadow clones that Naruto would be producing would be in jeopardy of being destroyed because Luffy has access to this technique as well. And just because we are adding every devil fruit power to Luffy, we are not forgetting the haki. We are not forgetting the fact that he'll have access to future sight observation haki as well. But I do agree, Izanagi would be a problem. Naruto definitely doesn't go out first. If he has every dojutsu, meaning all variations, he might take the W. With DMS, no one can hit him and he can hit anyone. Even if Luffy uses a Logia type body, Kakashi's Mangekyo Sharingan teleports used, so he can deal with Luffy. He would maybe be able to use Genjutsu, but we do know that Genjutsu is kind of a technicality because people say if you don't have chakra, it won't work on you. But we're assuming if this does work, I think he's saying that Itachi and Shisui's Genjutsu abilities would be insane, which he's not wrong. He would have Amaterasu, which could also counter a Logia body as it burns until nothing is left. Also not a bad take. If we count Urashiki as canon, he can travel back in time, and if he's about to lose, he can do something differently. And using Jigen's dojutsu, he can shrink to a subatomic level and spawn in objects from Jigen's pocket dimension. Naruto has quite a few hard counters to Luffy. The real fight comes down to Naruto and Ichigo is just too OP with Yamamoto's, Urahara's, Shunsui's, Aizen's, and his own true Bankai. Naruto could win, but it would be very hard. First off, let's address the double Mangekyo Sharingan. I'm assuming we're giving Naruto full Kamui abilities here, so that means attacks will be phasing through him and he would also be able to teleport things to the Kamui dimension. That sounds great, that's nice, but remember, we are giving Luffy access to every devil fruit ability in the series. This means we are giving him access to 2 devil fruit powers that have access to pocket dimensions as well. Luffy would have access to Blue Nose's Door fruit, which does act as a pocket dimension because he can literally make a door out of anything and go through a pocket dimension space and end up somewhere else. But he would also have access to Brulee's Mirror fruit. Those are 2 hard counters for the Kamui dimension alone, which means that Luffy is more versatile in this scenario. Luffy would also have access to Shiryu's Clear fruit, which means he could avoid being detected, as well as having access to Von Augur's Warp fruit. So you have an invisible Luffy warping around through different pocket dimensions. Secondly, let's talk about the Genjutsu. I actually agree with the Genjutsu take when it comes to the Koto Matsukami. I believe that Luffy and Ichigo would definitely have to look out for that. But if we are going to allow Genjutsu to work, we also have to look at the counters that Luffy and Ichigo would have. I mean, Conqueror's Haki, Observation Haki, Spiritual Pressure. These are things that literally weaponize your willpower, weaponize your spirit, your power within. Luffy could also use Law's Devil Fruit, which he'll be able to switch Naruto and Ichigo's souls. Thirdly, I'm in complete agreement with the Amaterasu. Luffy would have to focus on evasion here, because once that technique lands, it's going to be burning forever. In regards to Urashiki's dojutsu, I believe Luffy would be able to counter that when we're talking about Future Sight Observation Haki and also Jewelry Bonnie's Devil Fruit. We know that she's able to grab future versions of herself and apply it to her current day form. Luffy will be able to look into the future, grab attributes from future versions of himself and apply it to his current day form, just to protect himself from what's going on right in front of him. And we can't forget about the self-healing properties that Luffy would have access to as well. He would have access to multiple devil fruits that can heal him, just like Marco's devil fruit. It would be really tough to stop. In regards to Jigen's dojutsu, the one thing I can think of is evasion into the mirror world. Once there, he can use Shiryu's Clear fruit and become invisible, and then he can also have access to Big Mom's Devil Fruit, which means he can control the environment around him with ease. Naruto wouldn't be able to use inanimate objects in the surrounding area if Luffy already put souls in them and made them homies of his own. The fight would already be over if Naruto has Ada's power. So obviously they were referring to Ada's Senrigan, which is not a bad point. The Senrigan is a dojutsu that gives the user the power to see or hear practically anything within range of their consciousness. So in other words, clairvoyance, which Luffy would also have access to with Viola's Devil Fruit. I rest my case. Let me break this down for you. Not only will Naruto be impervious to physical attacks due to Kamui, but he'll also be extremely versatile with having every Mangekyo Sharingan and Rinnegan ability at his disposal. Luffy will also be broken, but since we're equalizing verses here, we have to equalize chakra, haki, and Ryoryoku, since all three of these things are just spiritual power. And because all three of these things are spiritual power, Naruto and Ichigo have an overwhelming amount of it, and theirs is powerful as well. It should be powerful enough to overcome a lot of Luffy's devil fruit abilities, because the more powerful someone's spiritual power is, the less effective devil fruit abilities are. So in my opinion, Luffy's out first because Naruto and Ichigo have better defense than Luffy, since him having Logia and Tenshou ability will be useless since they can both hit Luffy. Then Ichigo will slam Naruto into the ground neg diff because it's Ichigo with every Bankai. I'm actually not mad at this take because I do see what you're trying to say, but I do find it a little bit disingenuous, and let me tell you why. Unlike Bleach and Naruto, One Piece characters have access to two different power systems, and I believe only one's being isolated here. If we're only going to take the Haki power system and make it equal to chakra and spiritual pressure, this completely isolates the power boost that the devil fruits offer. Firstly, Luffy's intangibility with Logias is not his sole defense that Naruto and Ichigo would have to look out for. As stated earlier, Luffy would be able to go through different pocket dimensions as well as having access to awakened devil fruit abilities. If we look at the awakened mythical zones, you're talking about ultra recovery as well as changing the environment and your opponent's bodies as well, as we've seen with Sun God Nika Luffy. Well, now you're giving Luffy access to all of that, plus every awakened paramecia, which gives him even more control over the environment. Luffy would also have insane healing properties, and he will be able to disguise himself better than anyone. There are also devil fruit powers out there that make you stronger with the amount of damage you will receive in Mad Monk Orochi's devil fruit. So not only would Luffy be able to avoid attacks better, but outside of the Logia devil fruits, you still have insane paramecia and zone abilities that would be able to help defend and heal Luffy as well. I'm not saying this is the end all be all, but I'm definitely saying that isolating Haki alone for chakra and spiritual pressure lowballs Luffy's abilities here. Luffy with every devil fruit couldn't even beat regular Naruto or Ichigo. Now I'm assuming they're trolling here, but I know there's a lot of people out there that truly believe this. And this is why I have to come to One Piece's defense more often than not. It's not because One Piece is my favorite anime, it's because a lot of these cross-verse battles completely lowball the One Piece verse on multiple occasions. And I completely understand why people feel this way when you're looking at how powerful the attacks are in the Naruto and Bleach universes. But when it comes to power scaling, the One Piece universe does have a lot to offer as well. And if you're looking at the hacks that Luffy will have access to with the multiple devil fruit abilities, again, I stand firm in saying Luffy would be the most versatile character here. Didn't say most powerful, just most versatile. But a lot of my Bleach fans already know that I haven't tapped into the manga yet, so I'm very excited to see how powerful these other Bankai are, and I'm not ruling Ichigo out as a winner. I definitely think that Ichigo can win. I'm just saying Luffy is the most versatile. You guys let me know down in the comment section below if you're taking Luffy with every devil fruit, Naruto with every dojutsu, or Ichigo with every Bankai. And with that, I'll see you guys next time, man. Peace.